Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever this may find you in the world or in the universe. Just want to make sure audio is proper. Listen, do me a favor as you guys join and tap in. Do me a favor, please share this broadcast, man. Reach out to the people. Feel free to tag anybody. The reason for the video today is to provide information to those who could not make it to the City Hall meeting on yesterday. I'm just going to go through a rundown of some things that's occurred. I have no problem calling out names. These conversations and things are public record. But you know what we do before we even get started on the City Hall and the city conversation. Let us take a moment to just align ourselves mentally, emotionally, to just get us in a place where our hearts and our minds can be set for the rest of the day. Like I said, this may find you in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening. But hey, wherever this finds you, let us dive into a deeper mind adjusting moment. So in this moment, God, we say thank you for the day. Thank you for this moment. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for a chance to be able to call on your name. Thank you, God, for protection and guidance, God. I thank you, God, even now, just for being who you are and what you're getting ready to do in our lives. I even pray, God, as in the city we suffer a loss on today. I ask you, God, to bring peace and comfort to those who are hurting in their places, God, that you bring peace even now, oh God. We know that you're the peace that surpasses all understanding. Those who are sick, God, bring healing and do what you will. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Just want to get that out the way. Get into alignment. So let's have a conversation. So yesterday, they had a City Hall meeting. Started at 6, had to get about 5:45. You wanted to speak. I did not make it in time to sign up to speak, but I did get there at 6 o'clock roundabout at the beginning. And we're just going to go through a plethora of things that just occurred. And we're going to talk about it. Listen, you have the open opportunity to chime in. You can write your comments and we can get into it. So to open up. Oh, let me say this. So at this City Hall particularly, we had about 60 people of color. I didn't say it like that. 60 black folks, okay, was at City Hall, and walking into a room to see a representation of even just 60 individuals was, good morning, my brother, good morning. 60 individuals was just a blessing to see us present, which also speaks to the power of influence that others have in the city to be able to provoke that many people to come and be represented in the room. Come on, hold it, come on, hold it down. Valor, good morning, Courtney, good morning, D. So we really came in and we held it down, and that was good to see in conversation. So that was very good. So they opened up the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, did those things. They read and honored one of the rabbis in the city of Niagara Falls. He's the he's the chaplain for the police department. He's also a chaplain at Niagara University. They honored him. But Perry, I'm just talking about it, okay? And I have no problem. Was having a hard time reading the proclamation. Let's deal with that. So I think somebody should read for him. That's just my opinions, but I'm not here to I love that. Don't let that moment. No, I don't let that moment die down. Good morning, Janae. Good morning. Good morning. Absolutely. It's my hope too that we keep that same fire and tenacity, not only in the pursuit to get somebody new in these seats, but also keep it going because it shows a great representation. So at the meeting, they do a proclamation to give honor to the rabbi. The chairman, unfortunately, just butchered the name. You know how the names can be a little different, but it still was not the best execution. But so they have, if you don't attend the meeting, they have these things called action items, which is just the agenda, let you know what they want to go for. And they open up the beginning forum so that you can begin to express your feelings or concerns. Wendy, blessings, morning to you, that you can express your feelings and emotions, if you will, regarding the agenda items. And on this occasion, they had eight items. So for the first person that came up to speak was Lawrence Blaber Jr., and he's running for a school board seat. He was on the show a few weeks ago, and it might have been last week, earlier this week. My mind forgets. He was he had some concerns, and he talked about the the fact that we are not vetting the contracts that we are proposing. Um, and he says that the city also doesn't have any measurable guidelines, which means that the city of Niagara Falls in our history have made contracts, got with people, and we have made arrangements, but haven't, as I said before, vetted out the weight of what it entails. So, action item, I'm going to read this to you, hope you can understand it. Action item number 5 states, is approve and authorize the mayor to award and sign engineering, construction, and other contracts necessary to expedite the completion of the 1-year 2025 city park project components for which Greenway funds, have already been allocated as more fully outlined in the mayor's recommendation memo dated March 2025. I'm going to paraphrase here. In other words, this company has been hired or suggested to be able to execute and maintain the parks and the projects. But what happens is they're trying to allocate funds towards these projects, but we haven't checked the warranties. We haven't checked the quality of other work that's been done. So there's been a lot of people who came to attack those things. He also questioned them about, they want to spend, let me get action item 7. They want to spend money for a new software. But this is the challenge here. This is the challenge with these requests, is that we are not doing our due diligence to be able to reveal the details required that we can have a clear understanding of what it is we're getting ready to go after. And that was one of the biggest challenges talked about as they begin to discuss these proposed projections. Now, after Lawrence came a lady by the name of Tanya Barone, who is actually running for a city council seat as well. She brought up some major concerns, and she challenged the $4.5 million that was allocated for, let me back up here. The city had a project for a dog shelter, and they wanted to spend $4.5 million for it, right? Then they revamped that, and then it came down to $4.2 million. She questioned, where is the $3 million at then? What's happening with the missing money? Now, stay with me. But then she also brought up the fact that, wait a minute, there is a $4.5 million remodeling budget, but the doors is $5,000, and then the roof repair is $200,000. And she was concerned to the fact, why wouldn't the $4.5 million project include these adjustments? Because once again, we are sometimes moving too fast, moving too quick, and we are not doing our due diligence and what's needed financially to do well. She had those concerns. So she brought that up, and she was just like, hey, where's the money going? Because as a city, we bring in revenue. Now, that revenue is not dispersed to the city, unfortunately, like we believe it should be. But what we're doing is we are taking that money and having our own projects, our own missions that doesn't have a good result. But this is what I do know, is that the dog shelter initiative has been canceled. But now they're calling it a storage building that needs repair and work, but we don't know what it's for. And that was another concern that was raised, because it's like, hey, y'all changed the name, I got you, but you have not you haven't told us what this money is really going for. And one thing that we ask consistently is for transparency in our government. Let me just go, I'm gonna run through this quickly, then we're gonna get into the spicyism, because there's some spiciness coming. So a friend of mine, Arlene Doss, came to the podium as well, and she discussed, wait a minute, y'all, let's talk about this money that y'all using. And she says that she highlighted that there's been over $800,000 lost that should have been allocated to the Beach Avenue playground. And she says the community, she got over 1,000 signatures to petition for this community to have a playground. And at one point it was in the plans, then it was left out, and it just doesn't make sense. And at what point will we hold you all accountable as a community, as our council seat, as our mayor, to be like, hey, we need activities, we need a space for our children, the youth. Now, I just talked to my father yesterday, and he does construction work and plumbing, and he said they just built a beautiful park in the LaSalle area. But what about the children here? What about having that same amenities and those same things here? And I think that there's a requirement. She also talked about that there was a demonic attack on the community, that there was the ability to spill out information that was just inaccurate and wrong, and we let it happen. And she was not in alignment of that. Okay, so that was her concerns and frustrations. And then I think that's all they really had for the speakers that came up. So those are just facing some of the agenda items, right? So despite all of that conversation and concern, make a long story short, they passed the first three agenda items. And let me go ahead and try to paraphrase what they are. Let me do this. Let me do this properly. Agenda items 1, 2, and 3, long story short, were the mayor's projection to get the proper equipment needed to repair the roads. Dante Miles stated that he understands the need to have this equipment, that he called, he did his due diligence, he did what was necessary. And this is where we have a challenge sometimes. He did what was necessary to validate that these things needed to happen. They needed to buy a trailer, they needed to buy certain equipment so that they could adequately take care of the streets. Okay, Niagara Falls. Because if you ride down the streets of Niagara Falls, you just might fall into a pothole and disappear. Can you address them without addressing the agenda items? Yes, you can. So we're going to get into that, because there's a part where you focus on the agenda items, and then the next one, so you talk about the agenda items. There's a space. They then go through the agenda items. Then they have a portion called the good of the community, where you can then speak freely concerning any matter. And we're going to get into that. That's where it's going to get kind of juiced up. All right. So Dante pretty much says, I'm going to approve agenda item 1, 2, and 3, because we understand that there's a need for these equipment to handle the streets. Okay. We get into agenda item, I believe it is going to be number 4. Number 4 agenda item simply says that Christina, good morning, good morning, good morning, and good morning. The agenda item number 4 talks about hiring a company to maintain the lot and the empty spaces inside of the city to cut grass. Now, let me talk about it, okay? Brian Archie chimes in and says, wait a minute, we already have a contract with somebody to handle what you mentioned. Why do we need another? Then the lawyer who's in the room begins to talk about that there's a difference between maintaining the property and then maintaining the empty lots. And long story short, they need more help and more assistance, and so that these things can be maintained well. There is also a concern that comes up regarding I'm stuttering now, forgive me. Agenda item 5, okay? And Archie brings up the concern because Perry states that there is no warranty on the equipment. Brian Archie says that he has different, good morning, he has different information that says there is a warranty and it's 5 years, but something about vandalism could cause a little disturbance. I didn't get a clear understanding of that full conversation, but long story short, those were some of the concerns that was brought up. And he also brought up, how can damages be rectified? And the lawyer informs him that a public bidding process will be used, but no bids have been taken. In other words, that there is a vetting process on how to manage and maintain what needs to be handled as companies execute this park plan. So in other words, our concern is, how much money are we paying out? When do they get paid? And what kind of warranty do they get on this equipment? So don't just build it or say you're going to do something, then we pay you and you disappear. Don't say you're going to build it, you build it and it break down in a year and a half and you don't repair it. So these things were asked. The payout process was asked and those things. So we're going to move on and move forward. So all right. I hope y'all with me so far. I hope I'm not losing you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. All right. They don't get no advertisement. So with that being said, now we go into okay. So the community challenges leadership. So the conversation stirs up again about the dog shelter. Now, this is all still a part of Agenda 5, because Agenda 5 is speaking to this dog shelter. So what happened was, allegedly, supposedly, the dog shelter's agenda should have been removed from the conversation, right? But when they went to read the conversation or look at the mayor's, the dog shelter's name was still in the information. And they said, wait a minute, this should have been taken out. So the lawyer, I'm gonna be a little messy here. The lawyer says you can now file a motion to eliminate any term of the dog shelter and then approve the item. Now, I have a concern about this. I believe that we all can make mistakes. We all have challenges. But I believe that the lawyer is well educated, well skilled, and I will assume that he has read this document repeatedly, and at no point, even on today, did he decide to remove or fix the wording in this request to approve. Now, mind you that the dog shelter has a $4.5 million assignment to it, or allotment to it, and what happens now is you want us to approve it, but had no one challenged it, we would have approved it and put something that was taken off back on. I wonder, I'm not saying that this is the case. I wonder if it was done like that strategically. I just have that question and concern. Okay. Did y'all do this? Was it, hey, let's put it on there, so if it passed, it passed, but if they challenge it, we just take it off. All right, we'll see what happens. I have that question. That's just a question. I'm not saying that that's what they did. I'm just saying, you didn't read this before you came? You didn't read this last week? Question. So with the conversation about the dog shelter, so while they're talking about the dog shelter, our chairman, Perry, his head is down, and somebody from the community yells out, "Wake up." Now, for those who may not attend the meeting on a regular basis, and I haven't always been, but there's some times that I've come, it just seems like there's sometimes a disconnect with the chairman at times. That's just observation. I'm not here to bash, destroy, savage. I'm just showing observation. So no. So if he needs anything, hope so. So with the same conversation about the parks, Dante Miles brings up the conversation to why was the Beach Avenue playground left out because if you have $4.5 million to invest in the dog shelter in the space, clearly that is no longer on the table. Clearly, there should have been room to make this park happen, whatever it takes. Either that means purifying the ground, because the community have already expressed their desire to want it, but we got 4.5 million for dog shelter in the dog park, but we ain't got none for our kids. Make that make sense. All right, just make it make sense. We're gonna keep going. So now the people ask where the mayor at. So for those who may not know, and I like I said, I'm just stating what is obvious, bruh. You know, the mayor does not attend the city hall meetings. So for those that came to the meeting expecting to see the mayor off in the distance, highly disappointed. But that disappointment for those who don't normally come, but who came, caused a bit of frustration. Where the mayor at? Why isn't he here? These are his agenda items he needs to have passed, but why isn't he represented? And that yielded a little bit of frustration from the people. So with the project not being proper, they got 3 yeses, 1 no, and because of the 3 yeses, that was passed. On this night, Councilmember Zajac was not present. He wasn't there, so it was only Archie, Bax, the chairman, and Miles. So y'all rock with me. We won't get to these items because I'm gonna get to a place. We got to get to a place. So they want to do a software upgrade for their computers. Archie asked them, why is this software different than what was before? Long story short, they stated that this software that you guys need is for safety and precaution, and it's been suggested by Homeland Security. So they approved that, and for the VPN, which is a safety measure, and that was that. So that was that. So listen, we're gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna play a commercial, come back, and then we're gonna get into the portion where the people have the opportunity to express themselves. And when I talk about this one, I'm gonna add a little bit of inflation and a little bit of oomph in my conversation. So we'll be right back. We're not gonna be going long. Give me 30 seconds. Hopefully my microphone do right. If it don't, y'all let me know right away. Stay with me. We'll be right back. It's just conversations. Let's go.
Menthol is not just a flavor. It's a manipulative way for big tobacco to target, attract, and addict Black Americans. Tobacco companies aggressively market menthol products using elements of Black culture, putting more products on shelves in Black communities and making them cheaper. And it's not just an injustice, it's killing us. Smoking-related illnesses are the #1 cause of death in the African American community. Help us fight this injustice at notjustmenthol.org.
All right, we're back. Just checking audio. We back. All right, good. So let's get into it. All right, number 1. So this portion of the council meeting is where you had to sign up in the beginning, and then you have the ability to show up now at the end. You got 3 minutes on the clock, and you can communicate, and you can say what's on your mind, but you got rules. Just keep this in mind. You have a list of rules. I know y'all can't see it. You probably still can't see it, but a list of rules you have to follow as a public speaker. So what happens now is you have 3 minutes to speak. Say what you will, make your concerns known, get out the way. So Lawrence Blaber, who's running for school board seat, gets up there again, and he talks about that our 3rd grade testing scores are piss poor, that our children are not reading at a level that they should. He came on my show, talked about that. You can look it up on your own. But he talked about a program that him and his wife worked with Buffalo to bring here called Read to Succeed. Now, what we talked about previously is, no, Killamore, valid for sure. No, yes. You on my, Kilo, just stay a while. You on the list because you spoke, but I just want you to know I'm just so proud. My heart is just, but we'll get there. but they need to be investigated 100% because the piss poor quality of things that they do is out of pocket. So Lawrence comes to the podium, and what he says is, he says, listen, the reading for our children is not up to par. And he taught me something, that our children can identify items based off pictures, but don't know how to sound out words. I said, whoa. I never thought of it in that term because apple, A is for apple, apple. All right, B is for ball. But I don't know how to sound out those words. So what he suggested is that Read to Succeed comes to Niagara Falls, and they're willing to, and they're here, but what they need is volunteers. They partner with AARP, so if you're retired, you got time, somebody in your church, somebody in your community has time, they will train you how to teach individuals how to read successfully. They will teach them how to do. Now this sounds crazy. I know that I'm doing a podcast, but in this moment, I just felt the Spirit of the Lord God. So bear with me. They're going to train. So if you have time, I use sounds every day. Come on, Tish. Now, those who don't know, Tish is she has a daycare, so she uses sounds every day, and that portion is important. So I commend you for that 100%. So what happens is they need volunteers. So if you are able, if you got room to learn, to teach, to prepare, and I say this, take this to your pastor, take this to your community leaders, because there's some people who ain't doing nothing. Nothing from nothing leaves nothing. I'm done. Nothing. So, but volunteers are needed. So I suggest you to go to readtosucceedbuffalo.org. That's readtosucceedbuffalo.org. I will post this and share this on Fire 716 radio page if you are interested. Tish says you have to. I got my glasses on today, y'all. Y'all see me? You have to learn sound. It is in the registration process for school, 100%. So, and just like guys' insight, Lawrence has kids who are in school. She has, I believe, a child that's in the spectrum of autism. So his passion is really for the development of children and having them to get what they need and what's required. And I believe there's another person running for school board. She was president of the room as well. I just can't recall her name, unfortunately. All right. So then after he sits down, my girl Ella Moore. Now, you may not know who Ella Moore is. We call her Nuki. She is our auntie, come on, community comedian. But she gets up there and she says passionately, she says, this is a pothole city, dusty, dirty, and musty. But she begins to express her concerns that our kids in the city are in terrible shape. And as she begins to address certain issues, she calls out certain names. Nobody on the council, but she begins to call out names of other places that we have invested in, right? Then calls this Perry, who is our chair member, to tell her that she's in violation in number 11. And number 11 says, your opportunity to speak at the council meeting is not for airing of one or more of your personal grievances. If you wish to verbally attack an organization, members of government, or private organizations, you will be asked to sit down. Now. So as Nuki begins to express herself and her concerns, Perry interrupts her and tells her, hey, you're in violation of 11. She's like, what you talking about? What's number 11? Because this is her first time speaking at the City Hall meeting. And what ends up happening is that dialogue between them is aggressive. He informs the officers to come and to go grab her to sit her down. They don't show up. And then the crowd is kind of like, what are you talking about? We not see the violation. And the crowd is in disturbance. Then the Perry's in disturbance. And they're going back and forth in conversation. What you mean? And then he cuts her time. So no, give me back my time. So then the secretary, my friend Liz, she takes the initiative to explain what that violation was considered. And the crowd had to, balance that out. But what happens is, I'm going to say this, there has been a consistent level of disdain, disrespect that has come from the chairman versus the people. And the people say this is where I get excited. How can we come and express ourselves if we can't talk about it personally? It doesn't make logical sense. It doesn't fit what the platform is for. I get it. It shouldn't be any personal attacks. I got you. But if the information is public and what happens is public, they should be able to address it. So now that calls for a little bit of a shaking in the room. You hear me? But this takes time to educate ourselves. So then comes up my friend Derek Hilson. What time I got? Because I only got 10 more minutes because I got. And no, Kira, absolutely, that's a problem. I got 10 more minutes. I got prayer at 12. My life is just full. Okay. If you can't express yourself authentically, what's the point? I get that you don't want any direct attacks towards the councils, but public information is public information. If we're aware, we're aware. If we know, we know. Because y'all think y'all doing stuff in secret, and we know. I'm not going allegedly. Allegedly. Don't judge my cup. They're not a sponsor. So here we go. Then my friend Derek Hilson comes up, who is an entrepreneur. He does business. And what he says is this. He says that the city of Niagara Falls does not invest in its own. He called for unity. He said the city doesn't allow for its own residents to prosper while Delaware North profits from Niagara Falls. In other words, what he says is you haven't set up anything inside of the inner city of Niagara Falls that we can get into, we can bring revenue into and flip over. But when we try to get downtown to try to put up a hot dog stand or a t-shirt stand, we got to fight with Delaware North. Wait a minute. Delaware North, which is not from this area, has more rights downtown in Niagara Falls to the point that we can't get down there to pursue. Every restaurant, every business, every food truck got to compete with Delaware. Where is the space provided that if JQ Juicing decides that they want to get downtown, do I got to fight? If my business is together, my kitchen is together, and my stuff is together, I shouldn't have to fight with Delaware North to get a spot downtown. Where's the investment for us? I said this before. Now, things are happening in the city. I'm not going to say that they're not, but we catch up. And we are accepting piss poor projects. There is no movement happening for those of us. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment and look at the entrepreneurs that we know inside the city of Niagara Falls. Take a look. And I got two people in my visual who might be in downtown Niagara Falls. Let's make something shake. Absolutely. F Bites is down there. Another individual, he is brown, but he's not black. I think his mother Cluckers is there. When I walk through the t-shirt stands and ice cream, okay. There should be something prepared for the residents in the city to be able to have a universal space. I'm talking good. I got to listen. I'm getting ready to drop this. That don't mean I'm going to do this, but I'm getting ready to drop it. Somebody should negotiate a space inside of the glass building that I ain't never been in. Let's talk about that. Okay, that's my part. Where it should be allotted for the residents of the city of Niagara Falls. This space, this Oxy building, this space should be I'll use Buffalo's comparison called the Queen City pop-up. It should be a space where you may get 3 months to be able to set yourself up in here and be able to sell, and there's a constant rotation. Whatever the requirements is, it got to be proper and in order. I agree, but there should be a space allotted for us to come into to negotiate this space, and there should be grant resources. And not only that, and I'm gonna say this, there should be an entrepreneurial training and development process. I'm gonna make it plain as I can. The business idea should meet those who need to be trained in electrician work and carpentry into these buildings. There should be some kind of collaboration that we can begin to build up the city again to look like something. Okay? Say it like that. That when the millions that come through here can ride up Main Street, make a right, and see business. They can watch this one. We should have access to get a lot, get insurance, and make it a flea market. Make it look okay. Okay. I'm gonna say that one again. We should be able, right there off of Niagara Street, get a lot, get insurance on the lot, and create what we call Niagara's flea market. You get it, you book it, we here. Just a suggestion. Not saying I'm gonna do it, it's just a suggestion. Let me move on. My time is drawing short. A minority-based entrepreneurial bazaar area designed to empower. Absolutely. Lawrence, if you on the Black, I was at Black, the Black Business Bureau and Development, let's have a conversation. Here, yes, for the good of the community. Yes, come on. Mother told me, I'm telling you, she said the motherboard ain't here today. And I understand. There's a time to knock somebody out. There's a time. No. So let me move on because I do have prayer next. So another guy comes up. His name is Lloyd Hamilton, and he comes and he simply says that there needs to be a system in place to give the kids something to do, to give them trade, to give them skilled trade, because somewhere along the line we lost that. I understand media, I get it, understand technology, and I understand how we are advancing. But somebody got to be a carpenter. Somebody got to still be an electrician. Somebody still has to know how to navigate these things. I understand that we're moving to an age where the robots may be pulling up. But the truth of the matter is, until they do, the kids need to be trained. Who's building your next house? Who's digging your next lot? Who's preparing for the business? So there's still work to be done and training. One thing that he says that, and this is what disturbed me. He was paying a few young men to handle a lot near his home. But the city came and told him, you have to stop because we fined the people for their grass not being cut. Wait a minute. You want me to stop making sure that my presentation is proper, my quality of my living is jacked up because you want to get your dollar and your money. And I'm also providing a resource for children. No, create a plan. Create a plan. You ought to be grateful and not stopping that man. And I love his passion and his concerns. A lady walked up also talking about the trees. She loved her trees. She loved her trees. And I'm about to get to my two final points. I got a few 9 minutes. She wanted her trees, and she realized that her trees is on the list to be cut on Whitney. And she's like, wait a minute. I know you got to cut back dead trees and trees that's kind of in the way, bag them up, but leave my trees alone. One thing I realized being an Uber driver was that our greenery, people love our greenery. Don't take that from us. Mike Jones says, establish a Northland Training Center grant-based offshoot in Niagara County. I agree with that. And I will say we have the Niagara New Orleans BOCES here, and I'll talk to my guy, Clinton, if he's still there, just to see what initiative they have that they're working on, they're trying to get into. I may try to schedule that interview. He's not too far from my location to really talk about what could happen and what could be. I really feel God, and I got 10 minutes. So let me advance on. And this is what I want to talk about. My friend. You my friend, so don't judge me. Makai Lee, Kilo, her influence, wonderful. Her presentation last night, though it was only 3 minutes. It was a impactful 3 minutes. Number one, just 2 weeks ago, she yelled on them, called them out directly. Watch this. With limited information, but her compassion and her fire yielded her a resolve that got her in position to be voted for a council seat. She did in 2 weeks what others couldn't do. Get out of here. I don't want to be the preacher too bad in a long time. But this week, when she hit the podium, she hit it with such class, character, and swagger. Can I say how I feel it? And she said to them, and I paraphrase, I'm aware that when I came last time, I was not well informed. But what I did do was I read the city charter. And can I preach it how I feel it? She didn't say it like this, but she said it like this. She said, I found out that Niagara Falls is a corporation, but you do not conduct yourself as a corporation. She began to tell them, if I'm a preacher, come on. To tell them that, I'm gonna calm down. But she goes on to tell them that you are missing key components to being a successful organization. Your transparency is not present. The due diligence and execution is not present. Your infrastructure is not there, and you are not compliant to the way things are supposed to go. I'm paraphrasing. But what I want to say is, I admire her for her willingness to be transparent, to be able to say, last time I came, I didn't have all my information, but I was passionate and my fire was there and my tenacity was there. But I did my due diligence. And I'm going to say this, and I'll say it now. She's going to be the one to blow your mind. It'd be that one to take you. Oh, I never would have. Yeah. And the support she has, I'm just saying, it's there. Now, the last person to speak, say what you will, my brother, outside of politics, for valid. Sure. The last speaker was Dante Mount. He got out of his seat, walked around the podium. I'm in my voice, I know. Prayer is coming soon. And came to the podium. Now, this is more profound than you may comprehend. Because before he became a councilman, he used to consistently beat at that podium. He did it scared, he did it afraid, he did it now, but he did his due diligence. Don't it sound familiar? Almost felt okay. He did his due diligence and he put pressure on the council. So for him now to be in the seat, to come around and come down and begin to express his concern. But in the middle of his expression of concerns, guess who got in the way? Our chairman, Perry. He told Dante, why won't you just write a guest editorial to the Gazette? I'm paraphrasing. Dante comes back and says, it's not what I want to do. This is a space. I'm not speaking as a councilman. I'm speaking as a community member. And Perry interrupts again and continues. Now there's 3 minutes that Dante has that has been now interrupted. He has 1 minute and 30 seconds left, but it's been interrupted. And now Perry is taking time. Perry is having dialogue. Wait a minute. Then again he says, why won't you just write? And then he tells the crowd, shut up. Be quiet. I'm just trying to talk to Dante. That caused a disturbance in the room. Hold up, wait a minute. Let my man do his 3 minutes so he can give his expression into that. This is the only place where people's voices can be recorded in public, says Dante. This is the only place where we are able to put on record what you said and stated. This is the place where we'll speak. This is the place where I'll talk. He criticized the lack of accountability, stating people are still paying taxes without getting answers. Yeah, all that went down last night. People still paying taxes and still unclear where. Unclear. Listen, once Dante finished his words, all prayer we could do was say, adjourn. There was nothing else to be said or stated. We took pictures outside with Kai Ali. And yeah, that was last night's meeting. Now, I wish that I could say I can come on here every meeting and do this dialogue of information. I'll be able to do it for a short time, but Bible study in Niagara Falls is going to be on Wednesdays and kick back up and then. Okay, we'll see what happens. Last statement I want to make before we get ready to get out of here and I get ready to transition to my next phase. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you have not, make sure you like the page Fire 716 Radio, because that's where a bulk of the information that I have is going to be posted. Ray Floyd says, finally, people uncovering the issues in the falls. Absolutely. And my thing is, after we uncover them, we're going to address them with tactics. I'm going to just say this. There are people working diligently behind the scenes who are not in place right now with a plan of action in place. And we're more together than we are separate. Don't be deceived. I'm going to say that we are more together than separate. Don't be deceived. So quick note. Yeah, I got to get ready to get out of here. There is a Easter egg hunt taking place today at Packer Court from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Taking place today. Packer Court Community Center. That's 4300 Pine Avenue. Packer Court. Y'all know what it is. Vanessa Scott, blessings, woman of God. Greetings. They got Bunny Bucks, the shop. They got screening information, egg hunt, family fun, kid activity, health options, free samples, and fresh produce bags. Okay, last time I went there, I got me some yams, some cabbage. I don't know what they got today, but going down today, Easter egg hunt. Be there, Packer Court, 4:30 to 6 is going down. I holler at y'all. It's good. It's life. This flyer says 4:30 to 6. I see another flyer that said 4 to 5. But either way, get there, rock out, 4:30 to 6. I'll be there with my children. We'll rock out. Listen, rock with your boy Big Frank. I love y'all. Peace, love, soul. Tap into the next video, which will come back in 10 minutes for noonday prayer. Do what we do. It's been good. It's been love. I'll talk to y'all soon. Next week, I got some people coming through. I'm excited for it. And it's good. I like this lighting and this decorum. I'll holler at y'all. Peace, love, soul. It's been good. We got work to do. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
Menthol is not just a flavor. It's a manipulative way for big tobacco to target, attract, and addict Black Americans. Tobacco companies aggressively market menthol products using elements of Black culture, putting more products on shelves in Black communities and making them cheaper. And it's not just an injustice, it's killing us. Smoking-related illnesses are the #1 cause of death in the African American community. Help us fight this injustice at